Welcome to my unidentified channel. Hello, thank you for joining me when you could join anybody. Today we're going to be going over how will they defend that, and I'm talking about Mr. John Pryor and Mr. Mark Means. How in the world are they going to defend some of the things that have happened? I have a list, we're going to go through it. Let's get straight into it. First on the list, Chad told Rexburg Police Department the last time he saw JJ Vallow was in October in apartment 107. Do you believe that? The day that Rexburg Police did the welfare check, Chad and Lori both called Melanie Gibb with different requests. Chad's request, don't answer the phone when police call. Right? Like, who can do that? Yeah, I'm just going to avoid the police. And Lori, she called requesting, the police are looking for JJ. I need you. I told them you were in a movie with JJ, and I need you to just take your phone out, take some pictures of some kids running around, just some random kids, and we'll say one of them's JJ. What are they going to say? Lori hasn't filled JJ's prescription since January 2019. She hired a babysitter to babysit on September 19th. She actually hired the babysitter on the 18th, but the babysitter came over on the 19th of September, and Lori told her to give JJ medicine before bed. It'll make him be tired. So was Lori giving him the medication or was she not? And I have another question about that. When Lori left back in February and she left JJ with Charles, why wouldn't Charles go get that medicine filled on his own and give it to JJ? Do you know? Did Lori give the prescription bottle dated January to the babysitter and tell her this was his medicine and give it to him right before bedtime? Lori and Chad told several people different things. Some things that they said were that Tylee died a year before her dad died. They also said Tylee was enrolled at BYU. You know, she told Melanie that and she told the babysitter that. Chad and Lori both told Chad's parents and Tammy's sister, Samantha, that Lori was an empty nester. She had no minor children. It's blowing my mind at the things that have already been said and how these things will be defended. That's why I'm coming to you. Do you know? Do you know how these things will be defended? Lori told the babysitter when she asked about working again after the 19th that JJ had went to be with his grandparents for a month. And when the babysitter followed up, she didn't reply. Now, this babysitter thought she had a job and she was depending on that job, and come to find out, she didn't have a job. Lori emailed JJ's school in Arizona and told them Charles committed suicide. Not only that, look at the lies she told Colby about Charles, and he didn't find out. She told Colby he had a heart attack, and that Lori told Colby that Charles had a heart attack, and she emailed the school and told them that Charles had committed suicide. All these different stories, all not the truth. Lori claimed she would be homeschooling JJ, and we know that never happened. Here's a dinger, right? Here's a big one. Zombies. How are they going to defend calling JJ, Tylee, and Charles zombies? How? I don't know. All right, I'm going to read this one to you so I get it right, okay? Chad and Lori both told Melanie Gibb they held the religious belief that they were a part of the Church of the Firstborn, and their mission in that church was to lead the 144,000 mentioned in the book of Revelation. They also stated Their mission was to rid the world of zombies, which we know she called JJ, Tylee, and Charles zombies. All right, the next few things I'm going to go over were heard in the call that Melanie Gibb recorded on December the 8th. Pretty sure it was December the 8th. She called Lori and Chad and recorded the conversation, and here are some of the things that came out in that conversation. Lori, they were talking back and forth, and Lori told Melanie, if you knew, that puts you in danger. And then Chad chimed in and said, yeah, that puts you in a bad position. So with them both chiming in, you would expect them both to know where the kids are. Chad and Lori both act as if everything is okay when Melanie Gibb called them. They want to keep her protected and him protected. Lori said she had to move JJ from Kay's because of the threats Kay was making. But we know JJ was never at Kay's. Lori told Melanie Gibb that she lied to the police because if she told the police where JJ was, they would tell Kay where JJ was, and that's why she lied to the police. Melanie asked Lori, quote, is JJ safe? And Lori replied, he is safe and happy. Lori also said, well, I'm just not telling anybody so that nobody has to say where he is or get questioned to where he is, so I can keep him as safe as possible. Melanie asked Al where he was, and Al replied, these are things Melanie told Lori. She's like, hey, I asked Al where JJ was, and Al said, you don't want to know, and he can't be found. And Lori replies, well, I don't know why Al would say that because he doesn't even know. I didn't tell anybody. She didn't want anybody to know, so no one would be questioned and no one would have to say. Here's the biggest quote I feel like that came out of Lori's mouth that is gonna, what can you say about it, right? This is December the 8th, 2 months after they killed Tylee. And Lori's quote to Melanie Gibb is this: he's not missing. I know exactly where he is. He is perfectly fine and safe. Now with her saying she knows exactly where he is on December the 8th, what is Mark Means gonna say about that? When they were talking about Tammy dying, and Melanie was like, well, Charles died and Tammy died and the kids are missing. This is before Alex died, right? Chad said his children were there and they testified that she was getting weaker and sick. He begged her to go to the doctor. She just didn't like doctors. Are the kids gonna back that up? What do you think? What about Chad telling everybody for the 3 years prior that Tammy was gonna die at an early age? How do you explain that? How do you explain him telling people that? How? Melanie asked Chad, you can understand my concern, correct? And Chad replied, I can from an outside perspective, but from an, and then Lori cut him off and said, from someone who knows as much as you know, not really. We can't understand your concern. But they could feel Dave's influence on her. Now, what does that mean? Do they not like Dave? I don't know the relationship that Lori and Chad had with David Warwick. Lori invited David to her home, I would guess, because he was there the 19th through the 23rd. So what was it that David was doing or believed that Lori and Chad didn't like? Because on the night of the 22nd, they were doing a podcast with David Warwick, or at least Lori and Melanie were. So what was it about David that they just didn't like? Something else I heard in the in the police body cam, on the Rexburg police body cam, when they came and knocked on on Lori's door, she told Rexburg police that JJ had been going to Kennedy Elementary School for 2 months. And we know the last day JJ went to school was the 19th, as he didn't go on the 23rd. And on the 24th, Lori unenrolled him. So they had been in Rexburg for 3 weeks. So how could he have went to school there for 2 months? Go through these questions. Go back and listen to the questions that I have presented here, or the statements I've presented, and tell me if you know how the defense will defend these statements. My mind is blown at some of the things that have been said, and I want to know what you think. Let me know. Did you watch the 48-hour special Saturday night on the case? What did you think about that? Did you learn anything new? So if you learned something new, or you've heard something new, let me know. Tonight I'm in a spot where I usually don't record, so hopefully next time I record I'll be back in my original spot. If you guys have any questions or have any ideas, let me know. If you want to be notified of my videos coming out, be sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell so that you get notified when a new video of mine comes out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. The Life Academy. Yeah, Life. I believe it was Kennedy Elementary, and that he just, what is it called?